What are the added challenges of jumping from an individual contributor role to an executive leadership role and skipping other leadership roles along the way? Well, the implied understanding of the challenge in that question is accurate. When we think about the individual contributor role, oftentimes it's very focused on what that individual contributes to the organization in their performance, in their knowledge, in their ability to produce at an individual level. So it's a role that is very self focused, right? What is my reputation? What is my performance? What is my knowledge? How am I getting my voice out there? And so, in a more traditional trajectory to the executive role, what somebody learns is to balance what individually they bring to the table with how they facilitate, support, and help others bring their best to the table. So, one of the biggest risks, I think, in skipping over those and jumping right to that executive level, what you end up with is an individual who is very steeped in their own way of doing things and proving themselves individually. They jump to that senior level, and now they also have a tremendous amount of power, at least in most organizations. And so the need for coaching is so critical because the risk of derailing is significant. MRG has some very interesting derailer research, and one of the profiles in the derailing space is we call my way or the highway, which is the leader who is not able to make way for others, not able to compromise, not effective at soliciting input, not an effective listener, very sure that their way is the singular right way. And so it's, of course, not all individual contributors will carry that with them into the executive role, but that is one of the risks. The other risk is those basic supervisory and managerial skills, unless perhaps they were an individual contributor who maybe fulfilled a team leader role, they may be much less skilled at things like communicating expectations, giving good feedback, delegating appropriately, tracking performance of things that are delegated to others. Creating a culture across a team, resolving conflict within the team, understanding how the hierarchical structure works and how to fit within it. So the balance of perhaps playing a little bit of a devil's advocate role, um, versus being aligned with the organizational leadership objectives. So there's a lot that is potentially missing that one gathers when they move through these different leadership levels. And so it's not that they can't be successful, but the expectation of the leader and the organization should be that the first 12 months are going to require a lot of learning, often some those basic management skills, and often the mindset and, quite frankly, ego management of how I understand myself as part of a whole, as a more single operator.